Okay, everyone, I think I've got it working now. For some reason, when I first went live, it did not want to go. So I guess I was pretty much talking to myself. But I'm pretty sure that I have things up and running now. So if you guys can just let me know whether you can hear me and see me, and that's just because I've got a new camera a little bit, and I have a new mic system. So I'm hoping that things are a little clearer, and going to see how things work tonight. So you guys can hear me okay? All good? Awesome. What's it saying? Awesome sauce? Okay, let me see. So hello, Sarah. You're the first one that I had seen up. Michelle, Cara, Edith, Karen, Emily, Tara Lee, Nicole, Donna, Heather. I'm just going through my list right now and saying hi to everybody. Hello, David. Nice to see you, my dear. Rhonda, Michelle, Amanda. All right. Nice to see everyone. I'm so happy you guys are going to come and hang with me for a while tonight. I'm always excited to get online, do my messages from spirit. Sometimes when the guides are in me fairly deeply, when I try and talk, I stumble over my words. So I have to slow down just a little bit, make sure I can make the connection that I need to now. Welcome, everybody. For those who don't know me, my name is Paula Hunter. I'm a psychic medium, Reiki master, naturopath, aromatherapist. I do all sorts of stuff, clinical hypnotist, and I'm actually training right now as a spiritual coach. So I'm really excited to bring that into to things later on. So basically, about every 2 weeks, I do what I refer to as messages from spirit. And this is an opportunity for spirit to come forward, bring messages forward through to you guys. And you can ask questions of my guides too. So it doesn't just have to be mediumship, okay? Now, the way that I run this is spirit directs me to individuals, right? They're the ones that are pretty much running the show. So they will flag me to certain individuals, and I will give you the opportunity to ask if you want a connection or if you want to ask a question. Where I'm different than a lot of psychics or mediums is I have the ability to connect into spirit wherever they are. Okay. Thus far, I haven't had any problems with that. And that's with doing it. Geez, I think we're coming close to 30 years up on this now. I may not look my age, but I've been around the block a little bit as far as this goes. So I do want to say, if there's someone there present right now, when I was grounding, I had a young girl come forward. Okay. And she feels like she could have been between, maybe 7 to 9, 8 or 9 years old. And she kept showing me like someone who was conducting. So when you think about, say, music, right? And someone's at the front and they're conducting this type of thing. I kept seeing this little girl and she's like doing this and she's conducting. And it made me feel like she just loved music, very carefree. I get a connection to a mom energy that would have been here for her. And she talked about mom loving to sing, and then what I heard was she hasn't sang much since I passed. Okay. So let me know if this rings any bell. There could be a cancer or leukemia connection with her as well on the other side. Okay. So again, if there is someone there right now, it feels like she's looking for a mother connection. A young girl, loved music, was trying to orchestrate things. Okay, so if this means anything to you, please drop me a message. I'll do my best to kind of keep an eye here and looking. Bonnie, I see you're saying about your daughter needing a reading, and I definitely understand that. I am, again, spirit dictates. They're the ones that run the show, right? I am the channel, and as the channel, I am the go-between between higher guide, higher spirit, and you guys. Right. So I really try and pay attention to them and where they direct me. So that was one of the spirits that were coming forward. And like I said, if this resonates, please let me know. And I've learned sometimes it also comes down to maybe someone who might come in at, later on and watch it at a later time. So again, if that happens, they can always message me. Okay. I also had a father energy stepping forward when I was grounding. He feels like he would have passed within the past 3 months. So this feels like a fairly recent death. I feel like there could have been heart. I get this breathing issues, so real heaviness in the lungs, and it could also correlate back to a heart. So again, let me know if this is father Father on the other side would have passed within the past 2 to 3 months, so fairly recent death as well. So if this resonates to anyone that's there, please message me, okay? When I ground, a lot of times spirit will start stepping forward for people that are going to show up, right? I never know. So again, I want to welcome everyone. So Karen, I see you, Karen Joseph, you're saying me. So are you, I see a few people. So I see Tanya right there too. So let me talk to the two of you guys right now. So Karen, let me know about your father. Tanya, let me know about your father, and then I'll try and narrow it down. I recognize that this would not have been his cup of tea either. So he didn't really believe in this stuff. And I always tell people, you know what? Doesn't matter whether they believe it or not. When they get to spirit side, they always know the difference. So let me see here. Yeah, Annette, and we can come back on that. This is a recent passing. So this person passed within the past couple months, okay? As I said, heart issues, most likely. But before he passed, there was breathing and lung issues because I get a real heaviness in the lungs, okay? So March, okay, give me a second here. Karen, how does your father pass? Because right now I seem to be, they're directing me more to Tanya right now than anything, okay? And Candy, I recognize that your father passed away recently too. He didn't die from a heart issue though, did he, Candy? And again, I want to welcome you guys that are popping on. For those of you that are new, I will answer as many questions and have as many connections as I can. Spirit directs me to who it is we need to talk to. So bear with me here, okay? So if I don't get your, I know you guys are asking, okay, can I connect with that person, this person? Okay, lungs and infection. Sorry, I'm talking at the same time and watching my notes here. Okay. And Karen says COVID. I think I need to stay with Tanya right now. Okay. And yeah, that feels like the connection right now. Okay. Okay. And Candy, I'll come back to you because I still feel like your dad's around as well. But what I hear is he's a little bit more patient than what he normally would be. So I'll figure that one out in a few minutes too. So again, sorry guys, I want to welcome you guys for showing up. And I am going to connect here with Tanya first. And thank you, other Tanya, for coming and checking in and hanging out. Okay, so bear with me here. So Tanya, right. So as I said, Tanya, there was a connection as far as father energy stepping forward, and it felt like he had passed here within the past little while, and I felt a real strong heart issue with him. So I'm going to hang with you for a little while. Do you have any issues with me bringing him forward further for you? I don't think you would, or otherwise you wouldn't be here, but I want to ask that question too, just to make sure. And again, guys, I also had a child that was coming forward between 7 and 9 years old. Brown hair, carefree personality, looking to connect with a mom. So if someone has a child on the other side, a young child, please, drop me a message as well. Okay. Okay. Okay, so Tanya saying, please do. That is what brought me here today. And you know what? Tanya, you really make a interesting point. So you had already set up the boundaries. You were not boundaries, I guess, requests. So you said, you know what? I want to show up tonight. Dad, I want you to come. I want to have that connection with you. And as I said, when I was grounding, which is meditation for me, he was already stepping forward. He was being very polite. He was standing back. So it makes me feel like sometimes he was a man of few words. And issues with the heart too. Because this feels like something that had gone on for a time frame too. So what I mean by that is there could have been some weakness prior to it going to that place or that point, because, okay, he's showing me that there was issues there for some time. Okay. And he's showing me like the pallor of his skin. So the color of his skin. So to me, that comes back to the heart, the circulatory system. So it makes me feel like the blood itself wasn't getting oxygen the way it needed to. So what he's showing me was actually affecting his pallor, his color. Does that make some sense a little bit for you too, Tanya, as well? Okay. who didn't get to say goodbye to him? Was that you, or was that other family members as well? Because I get the sense of needing closure. Dad definitely wasn't a complainer either. Because I keep hearing that they just need to know that I'm okay. Okay. So Tanya just confirming having a couple of heart attacks and the low oxygen and things like this. And this is all these things that he's showing me. So I guess it's his way of showing me that there was circumstances going on there for quite a while before he actually, had that one, if you will, heart attack that there was no coming back from, right? So he shows me that time frame, really not being able to communicate and not being able to have, having said goodbye, right? And what he's saying to me is it's more for you guys than him. Do you understand what I mean by that? Okay. Okay, I'm so sorry about that, Tanya. So Tanya's saying, I didn't get to see him much before he died because your husband was sick with cancer and COVID. So I'm not sure whether you're holding on. It's almost like you've got this guilt. You feel guilty about not being able to have the connection with him of what you wanted, prior to him passing. But what I'm hearing from him is just let her know it's okay. He says, I understand. It's like, you're in the middle of a tug of war, feeling like you're being pulled in two different directions at once. And he shows me you being, running back and forth and just being exhausted, and just really trying to keep it together for everybody. So he says, please don't hold on to that. Don't feel guilty, right? The way he's putting it is, I always kind of said, when it's my time, it's my time. And, when I go, I'm going to go. So there was no fanfare with him. He wasn't, he didn't want to be laying in a bed with his family watching him pass. So, one of the reasons why he would have passed as quickly as what he did as well. Right? Because it's almost like this expectation that he's still going to be there for a while, and then something happened and they show me a quick downturn. And that was his transition to the other side. Is this helping a little bit, Tanya? Because he's definitely sending love through the lines, but he just keeps saying, tell her it's okay. Tell her I'm okay. Okay. Okay, Tanya. So she's saying, because of COVID, it was hard to be out and about. You said you miss him so much that you've been thinking about him a lot. And you know what? Again, you bring up a really interesting point. I've learned doing this work for a number of years, when you have those memories of spirit, when you have the memories of the loved ones that you keep thinking about them and you keep thinking about them, right? Those are, if you will, energy signature. So they're letting you know that they're there. They're letting you know that, they're hearing you calling out. Right. And okay. As I say that, he says, you've already been feeling him around anyway. And Tanya, I see that you're saying that you thought that you would have had more time with him. And that's kind of what he's saying too, is it was like this sense of thinking there was more time, because I kind of get the feeling like, say if he was in the hospital and having the opportunity to talk to him, and it's like, hey, I'll talk to you tomorrow. And then, everything just changed. Right? Yeah. Tanya's saying he was not happy about being stuck in the house, not able to do things he wanted to do. He was not a person that sat still for long. And I kind of get that too. He was a doer. They show me what I call jack of all trades, master of none. So he was always tinkering with something. He was always doing something, right? Not a problem with that. But the biggest message that he wants to bring through is that he's okay. And not to feel guilty about, feeling like you had more time and that there was other conversations you wanted to have with him that you weren't able to have, because he keeps saying, I'm okay. Tell your mom I'm okay, right? But he just keeps saying, let it go. Okay, so at some level, you're beating yourself up thinking that, this back and forth. Okay. Does this help a little bit for you, Tanya? And I know you guys are posting messages and stuff. What I said is spirit directs me to who requires a message Okay, so please don't take it personally if I don't answer a question for you. This is what I do full time. This is what I do for work. So I'd be more than happy to set you up with a private session with me in person, or I do it over Zoom, online as well, right? So I do my best to answer as many here. This is my way of giving back, right? Hello, Lila. Long time no see, my dear. So Tanya, is this helping? He just keeps telling me to tell you to be gentler with yourself. Okay. Lila, love you too, my dear. It's been a long time. Hugs and kisses to you and your little one. So I'm hoping that helped a little bit. Let me see. Tanya's saying he was home and decided to go out to roam around the junkyard for car stuff and didn't make it home in time, and his heart gave out in the yard due to low oxygen. Okay. So he just, there was nothing that can be done, right? He's kind of telling me, he's adamant, like, that's just the way it was, right? It was time for him to go. It was his time. And just please don't hold on to that. It's funny because when you talk about him roaming around the junkyard, he laughs. He goes, that was like my, he's making a joke about it being like his Walmart, right? So one of his favorite places to be. Yeah. And I mean, exactly, Tanya, you're saying he was doing what he wanted to do. And that was the type of person that he was. Okay. So he wants to send the love through the lines to you. And he just wants you guys to be okay. Know that he's okay. He's okay with the circumstances and how things went. Okay. Yeah. So hopefully that helped a little bit, Tanya. And thank you so much for popping in. I'm glad I was able to provide that message for you right off the bat, because as I said, he was stepping forward when I was grounding. So I tend to try and listen when they're popping it up, and I don't even know who they are. But they know who's going to show up in the room, who's going to show up, to try and get a message. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Tanya, I'm not sure what you're saying about not passed, but she's not taking my calls. I don't know if you're talking about your mom or not. Hey, Sam. Hello, Sherry. Nice to see you guys. Another one I haven't seen in a while. Okay. So, Tanya, I hope that's helped a little bit. Candy, let me know if you're still in here. Because I know there was a connection with him. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Tanya, just, your dad just wants you to know that he's okay. And the biggest thing is you've been feeling guilty and he wants you to let that go. Okay. You're asking whether he's watching over her, meaning his wife. When we talk about watching over someone, he's still doing some work himself. So he's still got a little bit of healing that he's got to do himself before he's put in what I call general public and has more opportunities to come and go, if that makes sense. Okay. So he will be around more, but he was never one to stay in one place. So it'll be the same type of thing where it's visitation. I see a Candy there. So give me just a second here. And then, because I get your father being here present as well. Your father, Candy, he had a sense of humor, huh? He can be very colorful in his language too. Right? We'll put it that way. Because again, I get this sense of breathing issues with him as well. And he's the Joker. I just get the sense that he would be someone who lived his life and loved his life. The old saying about worked hard and played hard. Right? So he was very, I guess, just someone who's so animated. Right? So Tanya, I see you're saying, I feel he's with me all the time and saved my daughter in an accident, so I know he's here. Definitely comes to visit, definitely around. No problems on that front, okay? And you are very, very welcome, okay, Tanya? I appreciate you letting me bring that message through. So Candy, I know, and I mean, you're one of my clients as well, so I know that he had passed away recently. One sec. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. Candy, And again, because I know you and being a client, I saw a post recently where you got a new vehicle. And I'm laughing because what I hear, all of a sudden I hear him going, nice ride, right? And he's talking about the vehicle. I just thought that was so funny. So I think he had a real love for vehicles too, love for cars, right? But definitely he really liked to joke, right? And the other thing I want to ask you is, so was he cremated you of his ashes? Well, not just you, because I feel like it's been separated out, I guess you can say. Okay, Candy's saying he was a mechanic. Yeah, he was just all of a sudden, that's why I laughed, because he's going, oh, tell her it's a sweet ride. I'm like, okay. Just wasn't expecting it. I thought it was funny. But he showed me ashes. Sorry, not asses. Ashes. And so I don't know whether you guys were coming together to spread some, or whether you've already done that or not. But he showed me like spreading his ashes, right? And it makes me feel like, you know, family coming together. So as I said, it makes me feel like some of it being separated out. So everybody has some, but also some that's just being released, right? Almost to the point of something that he wanted. Does that make some sense a little bit, Candy? And I mean, I don't get what I call an epiphany message from him. I just get the sense of, you know, hey, I just thought I'd stop in, check it out, see what all the racket's about, right? So just this sense of humor, very much so. And again, greetings to you guys that are new, that are popping in. Just so you know, spirit dictates who I connect with, or spirit that comes forward for people that are here. If I'm not able to make a connection for you, this is what I do full time. Drop me a message, go to my website as well. And I'll be more than happy to set you up with a private session. I'll put my deets here at the bottom too, just in a little scroll so you guys can find it, okay? So Candy, yeah, I just get your dad checking in, having fun, because I just get he was such a fun-loving guy. Right? Okay. And what I hear is, what I just heard was, tell her I'm not in pain anymore. No more pain, he says. Right? So I really get a feeling like he had issues with mobility for a while too. So I don't know whether it was just aches and pains in the joints or not, but you know, he talks about being stiff and just, you know, just not having as much of a good quality of life, I guess you can say. That makes sense a little bit. Yeah, and Candy's saying he was in a lot of pain, and I really get that from what he's saying. So he shows me someone who puts on a brave face and worked as hard, you know, as he could. You know what I mean? To just move through things, right? Keeping that brave face. Okay, so he's just sending love through the lines for you, and I hear your sisters, right? I don't know if there's a brother in there too, but definitely he wants to send love to the family, and he's just happy how everyone came together, right, to appreciate him. Okay. That helped a little bit, my dear? Hopefully, anyway. Okay. And hello, Grace. Thanks for coming to spend some time with me. It's always nice to see new faces popping in. And hey, reminder, you guys, I do this every 2 weeks. So if you're new here, if you'd like to take part again, you know what? Like and follow my page, and you can find it when I go live again, right, to take part. So let's see. Hello, Kelly, and welcome as well. And Candy, yeah. Much love to you, my dear. So I want to know whether Kim Kemp is still in here. Kim Kemp. You're actually the person that Spirit was directing me to now as well. Kim Kemp. Drop me a little message there. Let me know that you're still here. And yeah, it looks like you were trying to connect with your mom. The guides automatically just keyed me into you. So I will do my best to make a connection. I just want to make sure you are still present in the room here on my live. And it's nice to see. I don't say old faces because I don't want anyone to think that people are old. That's not what I mean. But Edith, nice to see you, my dear. You know, David's been in on a lot of my stuff too. You know what? With COVID and everything that's been going on, the craziness, it's really nice just to see some familiar faces, right? For those of us that, you know, we don't get out too far. I know I don't go too far either. That's a choice as well. Other than getting out of my motorcycle to blow at the cobwebs. So I'm still waiting to see if Kim Kemp is in here. I'll put it to the side at the moment because I haven't heard anything back at the moment. Net, I'm old as dirt and I don't deny it. Yeah, I think when I hit 50, I was depressed. Now we're over that quite a bit. Well, not quite a little bit over. That's okay. That's how we learn, right? It's how we grow. It's part of what we are. Let me see. I'm just seeing where spirit is throwing me towards right now. Seeing as Kim hasn't responded back to me. Let's see. Who is spirit jumping me towards? And again, guys, if you guys are here, you know, even if you just say hi, whatever, because then I see your names come up. I know who's there. And like I said, spirit will kind of send me a message, right? Saying, oh, this is the person they want me to direct to. So, you know, again, you can choose to, you know, sit in the background and watch if you want. But if you want to take part, I need to be able to see your names come up, right? And you guys are talking about the chiropractor. Yeah, good. Chiropractor's awesome. I've been for a while, but definitely makes you feel better. All right, now I see some stuff coming up for so I know who's here. Give me a second here. Michelle Black, were you asking a question about your grandmother? Let me know if you're still here, Michelle. And I have my little list here, so I start writing down names as the guides direct me. And, you know, I know you guys come in quite frequently for a number of you as well. I do try and get new people as they come in too, so they have an opportunity. But again, spirit dictates. If they bring me to someone else, then, I mean, that's who I follow through with, right? All right, I'm seeing names. Awesome, guys. Nice to see the little waves and the little hearts, the little everything. Happy faces. Amanda, what's up, my dear? Amanda Lowther. Lowther. How can I help you, my dear? I know you're saying that you'd like to talk to your sister. Give me just a second here. Just because spirit's directing me to some other names here too. So I just want to write them down so I don't miss them here. And Brittany, actually, I saw your post come up here. Brittany Casey, I never got to say goodbye to my grandmother. And you know what? There's a lot of times where we may not have physically had the opportunity to say goodbye, but you know what? Everything's energy. Thoughts are energy. Words are energy. So when we send those, that energy there saying, you know, I miss you, I love you, you know, we don't have to say it in person, right? That energy is going to go where it needs to go and they'll receive the message at the end of the day, okay? So don't mind me going through my list here. Michelle, I had you there too. So Michelle, you just wanted to know, I think you said it was your grandmother. Just to make sure. Okay. There we go. I got some names down here. Bear with me. So right now I'm looking for Michelle and then Amanda, I have you after Michelle. So let me just get, so Michelle's saying she died during COVID. Our relationship wasn't that good, but want to know how she's doing. And I presume, again, that was grandmother. And Amanda, bear with me because I'll have you next, okay? And Michelle, you know, when you're making the comment about not being able to say goodbye, but hopefully she's doing well. One of the things the guides have always said to me is they refer to death as returning home. And they've always said to me, how could it be anything but blissful when we return home? Okay. So it always brings to mind this picture that I've seen on Facebook, and it's somebody laying in a bed, and on one side is their family on this side, and, you know, they're crying, they're in tears and, you know, having a rough time. And on the other side is all the family on the other side, and they're partying, they're celebrating, they're so excited to have that soul on the other side. Right. So when we do that transition, we always have our loved ones there, right? We always have the connection. We don't take our pain. We don't take these other aspects. Yes, we still have to work at going through a healing process and taking responsibility for our lives. But so when you're talking about them, you know, being okay, they're always okay. Okay. Definitely always okay. Okay. So I know it's kind of generic, if you will, Michelle. Okay, stubborn. She could be stubborn. Holy. It's Michelle saying that her grandmother and her grandfather were soulmates. I do believe she's happy now because she wasn't here. Yeah, and I would agree with that because I think she spent a lot of time on her own. I just get this sense of going through the motions, you know, being here because she had to be here, but her heart hadn't been here for quite a while. Right. And even though it's hard to say goodbye to our loved ones, sometimes, you know, we know in our hearts that they are better off on the other side, you know, because they don't have certain situations and they're reconnected with the people they, you know, that they may be really missing on this side as well. Right. So your grandmother, I just get, she was saucy, she was stubborn, she had a voice, but at the end of the day, you know, she was also a very loving person. Right. And they show me breathing, stop, which represents the fact that she had a gentle transition. She was ready to go. Okay. And hello, Michelle Nightingale. It's my lovely sister. So I hope that helped a little bit, Michelle. I don't want to say it was generic, but okay, one sec. You made a comment about not being in connection with her. What she just said to me is, just tell her I'm proud of her. She says, I never really got the opportunity to say that to her. So she wants you to know that she's proud of you. And what she's telling me is keep putting one foot in front of the other, right? This is a time for you to think about what you want and you need, and stop compromising. Okay. And she's just sending love through the lines for you. Okay. Awesome. Amanda. Yeah. So glad, Michelle. Amanda Lothar, I believe that is the name. Amanda, let me know if you're here, my dear. And again, hi to everyone who's popping in. Nice to see lots of new faces as well. I do my best to answer as many as I can. But again, this is what I do. This is my profession. I'm an entrepreneur doing what I love. So if you really are looking for a connection with someone, feel free to reach out. I'd be more than happy to set you up with a private. I do it in person. I do it over the lines. There's no difference in the quality. And you know what? I also do email questions too. So if you only have a question or two, you can go to my website, paulahunter.ca, and you can send me a question too. Okay. So Amanda, who was it you wanted to connect with, my dear? And then Kelly Lomax, if you're in here, I have you up after Amanda. It's nice to see some new faces. It's always a good thing. Okay, so Amanda, you want to connect with your sister. Give me a second here. Okay. Your sister left pretty quickly too, huh? Your sister, because I really get, how do I put it? She could speak her truth. She what I call march to the beat of her own drum. So, and they also give me a symbol of someone with the backpack on their shoulder. And that always represents someone who's just, they're ready to go, right? And they jump into things with both feet and sometimes without thinking. So I get this really strong personality, very stubborn side too. And if she got her teeth into something, she wouldn't stop. She wouldn't slow down. Where she shows me you being more the cautious one. Right? You understand that? Where she was just this free spirit. And what she tells me when I talk about someone being stubborn, she just kind of saying that she didn't always listen. You understand that a little bit? Amanda, I also get the sense that there's something specific you want to know from her, to be very honest. I'm just trying to understand. All of a sudden, she showed me it's like a necklace and it's a heart, and then it showed me almost like, you know, like some of those hearts where you can break in half, and it's like one person's got one and the other person's got something else. So it could be something of hers that you have now that is associated back with jewelry or, you know, pendant, something like that, right? Okay, so Amanda's saying, my son is starting school and I'm missing her and how she would be. When you're talking about how she would be, you mean just with the situation of your son going to school? Sorry, and I don't mean to laugh. I laughed because all of a sudden I heard her say she's been a basket case. So it tells me you've been stressing a little bit about that transition for him. And I think, I mean, not just the transition to starting school, but I mean, again, we're still in a bit of a crazy world where there's so many rules and regulations around COVID right now, that it's almost like a combination of different things. Just making sense a little bit, Amanda? Yeah, and Amanda, when you're saying about missing her in this first for him, you know, the way she's putting it is, she says, this is the first of many's. But what she's telling me to tell you is, you know, without a shadow of a doubt that she's got your back and she's with you every step of the way. She says, how many times have you reached out to me and asked me to be there? She says, I've heard you. I'm there. You know, where else do you expect me to be? Right? Making some sense to you, my dear? Okay. You guys kind of looked alike too, huh? I say that and then she goes, but I was the prettier one. So the sense of humor too. Because she didn't mean it mean. She's just making a joke. I just feel like her passing was very abrupt, very quick. And the other thing she commented is just not being in pain, right? So if anyone was worried about the passing itself and whether, I don't like using the term if she suffered, but that's really the gist of it at the end of the day. I get no. Okay. Okay. She's also telling me to tell you to stop worrying about everyone else and that you need it. Okay. You need to take care of yourself. Okay. Because she shows me stress levels have been high. You got the tears in the eyes, huh? And the reason why I'm saying that, I'm thinking that, because all of a sudden she's giving me the symbol, like she's reaching down, grabbing a Kleenex and then passing it over to you. And then she's just smiling. Right. And I think it's her way of letting you know that she's there. Right. Is this helping a little bit, Amanda? Your son's very connected to you too. Because she's telling me like what she's saying is he is so much like you. Right? So much like you. Yeah. She's okay. She just keeps saying that you keep putting everyone before yourself. And it's almost like, you know, I just have the sense of you being, you know, tired and exhausted and, you know, just not really taking care of yourself the way you need to. Okay. So she's asking you to stop and take care of yourself as well because you are important. You are important, not are. Okay. She'd be the best aunt. She's showing me like snuggling him from the other side. So he must be a snuggler. He's very independent, is what she's saying too at times. But he's, I don't say, I hear mama's boy, but I don't mean mama's boy like sucky baby mama's boy, just that he's very connected to you. Makes sense? Yeah. She wears the badge with pride, being an auntie. So whether she's on this side or the other side, it doesn't change how she feels about the situation. Okay. So she just wants you to know that she's always going to be a part of his life from the other side. And what she's telling me too is you already asked her to watch over him, keep him safe. And she takes that duty, that responsibility to heart. Okay. Hey, Ashley girl, long time no see. So I hope that's helped a little bit, Amanda. I know I kind of get the feeling you got a lot on your plate right now. So again, if you're ever interested later on, reach out. Be more than happy to set up a session for you, okay? Because I just feel like there's a lot of stuff. And not all stuff is meant for what I call public forum, right? Yeah. And Amanda, when you're talking about her talking about him all the time, she's almost showing me the image of like sitting down with a picture book, right? Photographs. So it tells me he's pretty sensitive too. Okay. And again, greetings to you guys that are popping in. Thanks for coming and hang with me for a little while. So let me see. Kelly Lomax, are you still in here, my dear? Just let me know. And hello, Denise. Give me a second here. Okay. So Kelly, I have a relationship and not sure if he's right for me, need some guidance. So Kelly, you're in a relationship. And you want to know whether it's right. Okay, need some guidance. So give me just a second here. Okay. Kelly, the gist of what I'm getting is it's what they're showing me is like these stages of a relationship. So they show me that when things first came together, that connection, they show it being very strong. I see a lot of laughter, what we call the honeymoon stage, right? But it's almost like lately, it's like his focus has been elsewhere. So whether it's work or something else, it's like you feel at times that he doesn't always have time for you. He's always kind of busy doing everything else and not as much with you. And it's almost like sometimes you try and broach the subject, but what the guide showed me is it falling on deaf ears. So he's not hearing what it is you're trying to talk to him about right now. It's making sense a little bit. And, what I'm hearing is you already know what you need to do with this relationship. But they show me that you're just not in a place where you're ready to act. You understand? So Kelly, what is it specifically you want to ask then? And maybe I can help to answer it directly. Ashley, thank you. Basically, it's ponytail. Hair back. I don't know about anyone else, but being in this New Brunswick humid space, when the humidity comes up, it's like my hair goes poof. So it was easiest to deal with today because it was a little humid. So Kelly, let me know what it is you want to ask. And purple, well, purple's my color. As you can see behind me, purple. And actually, this one's over here, purple too. Just a different shade of purple. Purple's my color. Purple is higher connections. So Kelly, let me know what it is specifically you want to ask about this relationship. Then I can answer it a little better. If you're still here, could be typing. It's interesting when you're asking the question whether your father would approve of the relationship. And from higher source, they're going, well, I don't want to put it that way, but from higher source, what I'm hearing is, why does it matter who approves of it or not? It comes down to the relationship itself and how it functions between the two of you over anyone else, right? Give me a second here. I mean, I don't know how long you've been in that relationship either. My dad has met him years ago. So someone from your past then. Give me a second here. And as you ask the question, you know, at the end of the day, all that ever would have mattered to him was that you were happy at the end of the day, right? Because he wants to see someone, like, I get a sense of him being old-fashioned. So I don't mean him about, you know, old school, but it's like, you know what, the man takes care of the, you know, finances, he takes care of his family, you know, from that perspective. So when you're talking about how your dad would think about the relationship, that's really the biggest bottom line at the end of the day. He wants to see you happy, but he wants to see you with a man, someone who's going to help take care of you. And not that you necessarily need to be taken care of, but that's that old school belief. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I always ask that question just because, I mean, it's hard when I don't have someone in front of me, right? So I want to make sure the information that I'm passing forward, that the individual receiving it understands what it is that I'm trying to say. And that's also partly because the guides will help me rephrase it if they don't understand, you know, what it is they're trying to say at the end of the day. So, yeah, I mean, so long as he's treating you with respect and treating you good, that's all that matters to your dad. He wouldn't necessarily care about who it is. It's about how you're treated, because that's your dad's old school, you know, belief. That was how a man behaved, right? You understand that? That's the most important thing for him at the end of the day. Does that kind of answer that question of what you wanted to know? And again, you know, for those of you that I ask, if it's a specific question or a connection, you know, the more specific you give me, the better I can get the answer from the guides, right? That's all. So yeah, he would have no qualms about it, because I do get that he does do his best to be there. But like I said, I still feel him as being over here a little bit preoccupied, right? So if there's something like that going on, be sure to speak your truth, speak up, right? Because I get the sense that things needing to be said and you're not saying it. So again, that doesn't mean the relationship is going to you know, to crap. It doesn't mean any of that. It's just saying, hey, we need to work on communication in this relationship right now. Makes sense? And Kelly, you're saying, I just know he's always with me. And our loved ones always are. It's not like they're there 24/7 hanging out. I mean, if we're suffering, if we have a challenge, they're definitely there, you know, really regularly. But if we're doing okay, they'll step back, right? They'll kind of let us do our thing, and they'll just check in on us. Okay. Hello, Lynn. Nice to see you, my dear. Does that help a little bit, Kelly? Hopefully it did anyway. Amy, I'm going to come to you for a minute. Amy Hoyt. I see your comment there about wanting to know if your son is around. And you said you hadn't heard his voice in 3 months. And the reason why I'm jumping over to you real quick is all of a sudden I heard him saying, I thought you'd be happy about that. And I don't mean happy that he's not here, but to me, it represents the fact that he could get going sometimes and just wouldn't stop. Kelly, when you're asking about him following your daughter, what he's telling me is he checks in. And as I say that, what he says is she's in good hands. Okay. So what that represents is, you know, that family unit is really strong. So hopefully that's helped a little bit for you, Kelly. Yeah, Amy, he would have had, I mean, I get a sense of humor from your son, but I get he could be a force to be reckoned with sometimes too. Because he tells me that sometimes he could be, well, some of the things that came out of his mouth were not always gentle. We'll put it that way. Do you understand that? But I get this almost silly, playful court jester side. So it's funny because it's almost like he could change on a dime sometimes, right? Those emotions, which could shift very quickly. But I get someone with a big heart where he could take things to heart very easily too. So he could be, what's the word I want? Not harmed. Being sensitive, he could just be hurt very, very easily from the emotional perspective. And whether he'd, I get it, he'd put up the barriers and react to it rather than seeing that hurt. You'd probably see anger over it. Okay. Amy, you have some questions surrounding his passing? Because this is what he's telling me. What is it you want to know? And hello, Stephanie. Hello, Grace, Jane. Thanks for coming to hang with me for a little while. Norma, have a good night, my dear. Thanks for coming and chilling with me for a little while. Let me know if you're still there, Amy. I just get a sense of unfinished business between you and him. And again, this may not be group material either, but, let me know. Hello, Lynn. Awesome to see so many people popping in and hanging. And again, for those of you that might be new, that haven't, been here before, I do this about every 2 weeks right now. For those of you that are in the St. John area, I've got a group reading coming up on September 30th at Oh My Soul and Journey. You can find information under the events. And I'm going to be in St. Martin's. I'm doing a group reading at essentially Seaside Campground, actually. I'm going to go camping for the weekend too. But I'm doing a group reading there a Thursday night. And then I'm doing private readings on the 17th all day and the Saturday, the 18th in the morning. So if you're looking for, if you're up in that area and want to come to a group session, hey, we're going to be outside. It's a really cool little campground right on the water. There's actually a graveyard right next door to it too. So it'll be interesting to see what types of stuff come through. And then I'll be hanging out for the weekend and doing private. So again, I was waiting for Amy, but I'm not sure if she disappeared or what happened there. And Lynn, I see your comment about missing Mike lots, and you said not getting any signs like you used to. And, one of the things that happens quite often is when they first pass, they'll give you lots of signs. One, it's just because we need it, right? And we need to know that they're around. The other reason that sometimes they start stepping back is what I've learned is, the guide said to me, and this is how they speak to me in the process of what they told me. And it could be different for someone else, but this is what they told me. So when we cross, we're always greeted by a loved one. They help us with that transition. We go into what we call life review. So we look at all the experiences in our life, both what we would view as being positive or negative. And then from there, we would go into what they've always used the term cocooning, right? And that is a healing time frame. So we're surrounded by higher beings that help us to heal from this lifetime before we move into the next. And then from the cocooning, we go into what I call general public. So we have the freedom to kind of come and go and connect. So what I find a lot of times working with spirit now is when they first pass, they don't automatically, kind of cross all the way sometimes. They can kind of hang around. They want to see what's going on. They want to see how people are. And so they can hang for a while. But once they go into that cocooning stage, it's a lot harder for them to connect on this side until they've done their work. And, okay. I really get the sense like your husband was holding on to a lot of stuff, right? And he's still working through the emotion of a variety of different things. Okay. So it's easy to say, don't take it personally. It doesn't mean he's gone. Doesn't mean anything like that, other than he needs some time to do the healing that he wasn't able to do here. Okay. And then what I hear is, you know, without a shadow of a doubt, how much he loved you. That has not changed, nor would it ever change. Okay. And Amy, I see that you popped back in. So I'm not sure how much you heard when I was connecting with your son there. So if you can even just let me know what you heard, what you didn't hear, and then I can kind of come back to where I was. Yeah, Grace, if you're interested, you can find more information. I mean, you can drop me a line too, but if you look on my Facebook page here under events, you'll find the information as far as the group and the privates. And under the privates, it'll show what times are open and what times I have booked already. Okay. I'm actually really excited about getting out there. I haven't done anything out in St. Martin's area. And it's just nice to get out again. St. John, Oh My Soul and Journey, I get out there once a month and I do group readings there too. So I'm booked in once a month until November, and then it'll be the new year before I'm back. So it's another area. Okay. So Lynn, I say, okay, I do know it's just getting easier it's getting harder instead of easier. Yeah. And you know what? I wish I could say, here's the magic wand, here's the prescription, and everything's honky-dory, everything changes, but it doesn't work that way. I mean, when our hearts are hurt, you know, when we lose someone, we need to be able to take the time to heal. And that time is whatever you need, right? At the end of the day, what you know is he wouldn't want to see you unhappy, right? But he needs to think about himself right now too, and do the work that he needs to do so, you know, his soul can heal. Right? Because what I hear is, this is why he had so many issues in so many locations of his body. When one got fixed, another cropped up. You know, there was no hiding it anymore. So everything was coming to the surface, okay? So he's definitely sending you love through the lines, but he needs some time to do some work that he needs to do for himself. Okay? So Amy, again, let me know. I know I was connecting with your son. Let me know what you heard or didn't hear. Not sure if you're still here or not. And again, guys, if I'm not able to make a connection for you tonight, I do my messages from spirit every 2 weeks. And, you know, this is what I do for a living. So drop me a line, send me a message through Facebook, go check out my website, whatever it is you like to do. I'd be more than happy to set you up with a one-on-one, because you know what? I do it over the lines. You know, spirit knows. And there's no difference between having someone sitting in front of me or, you know, via a Zoom one, okay? Hello, Michelle. Nice to see you, my dear. So I'm not sure whether Amy's still in here. She got booted again. And sometimes things just crop up like that, so that, you know, sometimes it's just private at the end of the day, okay? So let me see. I'm going to give another minute just to see if Amy pops back. And if not, Amy, you can always, you know, you can always try and pop in on the next one, or you know what, be more than happy to book you in with a private session. Because I'm pretty much coming to the end of my evening. I usually run for about an hour or so. I want to thank you guys for coming and hanging with me. And let me see, my next one, I believe, I know I've got it on my website. I don't know if I have it marked in my book. Let me just take a look and I'll let you guys know when I have my next live set. That will be September 23rd. It's a Thursday night, 8 p.m. That will be my next live. But as I said, hey, reach out. Be more than happy to set you up with a private session, guys. Thanks for coming to hang out with me for a little while, right? And as I said, I do this every 2 weeks. So, yeah, thanks for hanging. And I will connect with you next time. Yeah, and I hope you guys have yourself a wonderful evening. Take care, guys. Thanks for coming out.